We have Jay Douglas on the couch this morning. Play it loud, How Toronto Got Soul. Jay Douglas, what a pleasure to meet you and talk to you about this documentary. I've only seen some of the trailers of this. Unfortunately, I haven't got a screener yet, but I'm so excited to see it. It's debuted already.
Yes.
What's the reaction? Because you've been touring with the doc. What's the reaction been like to this?
Great, because we had a very good producer, Andrew Munger, a great director, Graham Matheson, and it's about truth. Reality, telling the truth from my days in the Cougars as a lead singer and the journey up until they start making this documentary 3 years ago.
Amazing. And How Toronto Got Soul is sort of the subline on the title
right.
there here. And what you must have seen in the Toronto music scene, 60s, 70s, and how that evolved and how your music and black music influenced the music of today.
Yeah.
What's that like to now reflect upon that? Here we are sitting in 2025 when you debuted here in 1969.
Yes, and the show was called It's Happening, hosted by the great Robbie Lane.
Yeah.
It was Robbie Lane and the Disciples. Then I became the lead singer with the Cougars, played in Toronto in the Jamaican community until we had to go into Yonge Street, the Colonial, the Cocktail. That was the place.
Yeah.
And we moved that barrier so local acts could get booked there. Because these lounge in Toronto and Yonge Street, they were only booking acts from the United States. Little Stevie Wonder, the Supremes, Commodores, Parliament, Funkadelic.
Yeah.
It was very difficult for local acts to get that kind of exposure.
So how did you do it? How did you make the breakthrough?
Well, we went to the Le Cocktail, and they had a Saturday afternoon jam with an American group. Those days you play Monday to Saturday, afternoon, matinee. So we knew they would take a break, so we went there with the Cougars when the band, Little Charles on the side wanted, hey, can we go up and play while you guys on break? He says, okay, we'll let you do it. And that's all we needed. And the owner at the time of Le Cocktail, Bill Bullock, he stopped the band and said, we want to book you guys.
You created your own buzz, effectively.
That's right. And then it helps all the other local bands to play Yonge Street, the circuit.
What do you think when you drive along Yonge Street now or sort of go downtown and see how it's different? I mean, unfortunately, live music venues in the city have, for the most part, sadly gone away. What's that like for someone who, without that, you wouldn't have this documentary, you wouldn't have had your career?
That's right. It's a little hard to fathom because, as you know, music is the only international language of joy and love. It transcends the boundaries. And it's still going on, but to go down in Yonge Street and see what's happening, it's not because in those days, the early years, you had to dress up to go downtown, Yonge Street. Yeah. Today, now, if I go down there too dressed up, I'm out of place.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, the evolution of sort of fashion and what's sort of acceptable on the streets has definitely changed. What about your career? And as you were putting this together over the period of 3 years, were there some elements that you'd forgotten about or even maybe tried to forget about? And sort of like, what was that process like, the emotions, I suppose, that you must have went through?
Well, what we went through in the early years, for example, we were unable to get airtime and mainstream students. But thank God for the college campuses, radio station. Till this day, they gave us a lot of exposure. Now, after a period of time, we had to get out of Toronto. So we head up north. A gentleman by the name of Mr. Guthrie said, I want to take you guys on the road. Didn't know this was our first world tour.
Right.
So we went up through the North Country.
Yeah.
Barrie, North Bay, Then we cross over into Quebec. Woo, star time. Different approach to the artists. Because, in Quebec, they invest in their stars.
They do.
They make them stars.
It's a completely different attitude.
So we would end up going into Rwanda. That's where David Kean, the captain of Toronto Maple Leafs, Marcel Dient, and then we go to Val-d'Or, Quebec, Chateau Inn. We would play there for a month or two. They made us stars till we go into Montreal, big city where the action is. Sammy Davis, all these cats, Arthur Conley. So we played the Esquire Show Bar. That's where I got open for the sweet inspiration, lead singer in the group, Cissy Houston, who's the mother of Whitney.
Yeah.
So we got to open up for,
wow.
And she gave me a lot of pointers, man. I can't tell you all that she told me. But she told me one thing.
Yeah.
Whitney's mom, when you get on that stage, be somebody, be accountable.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do when you get back off the stage. Come back to earth.
Right on.
When you see J. Douglas perform now, when I get on stage, I work.
Right.
That's
right
the
on.
inspiration he gave me.
I love that.
And with all this, the challenges we've had in the past, negative, I don't carry it, because if I carry it, I'm going to get sick.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
Because the music gives me inspiration.
I can tell.
And the great place. And another thing I want to share with you, the drummer that plays with me,
Yeah.
Everton Pablo Paul,
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
he helped to create hip-hop.
Right.
The
And that, of
track
course,
is
50
called-
years.
yeah.
We got 50 years last year, yeah.
It's called Dirty Funk.
Yes.
Wayne McGee album, Sounds of Joy. And we're performing Sonic Boom tonight in the stores.
Oh, my God, Jay, what a night.
We're at the Drake, and
Yeah.
tomorrow night, you know, and my keyboard player,
Yeah.
he went to Valdo with me in the early day. Dave Delaney, he's still playing with me.
That's amazing. Jay Douglas, what an absolute pleasure.
God
Have
bless.
wonderful sets over the weekend.
Thank
Pleasure
you.
to meet you. Good luck with Play It Loud
And
as
be
well.
safe.
Yeah, you too. Be safe as well. What a great conversation. Really appreciate that. Jay
Thank
Douglas,
you.
thank you so much.